Madridistas, it looked like we were going to be getting 3 points at the Metropolitano. Unfortunately, Atletico Madrid came back and equalized late in the game for us to draw the game 1-1. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the game, telling you some of my thoughts around different players, and giving you my man of the match. So guys, coming into this game, one of the biggest misses that we're going to be missing out in this game, of course, was Kylian Mbappe, who is out for 3 weeks now with that muscle injury. I talked about it in my preview. And coming into this game, what I was predicting was going to be happening is we were going to be moving back to the 4-4-2, the diamond, that we all know so well, that won us Champions League, that won us La Liga last year. But the question coming into this one was, who was going to be replacing the Mbappe in this one? And really the Cruz role was going to be happening. And so we talked about a couple people. In my prediction was Luka Modric and Carlo Ancelotti. I know he's a subscriber of this channel, so Carlo was listening as well, and Luka Modric was the one to start in this game. And as you can see on the screen, this was the starting 11 that Carlo Ancelotti rolled out there. And really, this is kind of what we expected. There's really no surprises. Carvajal is back from injury. Ferland Mendy, Carlo Ancelotti rates him so much on the left back, so I wasn't that surprised. I wanted to see Fran. I actually think Fran would have done pretty good in this one, but Ferland Mendy, we'll talk about him. I thought he actually had a pretty good game overall, but early in this game, this was going to be a back and forth game. And right away, Julian Alvarez actually gets a shot early in this match, and it's a good run from him. Rudiger is there and shot right at Courtois. And it's in the first couple minutes, it's really just a back and forth match. It's a little sloppy. Fede Valverde in the 17th minute gets it's a great shot from him, but it's right at Oblak again. And it's a lot of power to the shot, but if it was going a little left or right, it's probably going into the back of the net. Unfortunately, he's passing it basically right to Oblak. And the one thing I did like in the beginning of this game is a lot more switch passes going on, from Fede Valverde, from a Rudiger, a Tchouaméni was doing it, Militao was doing it, Modric was doing it. I liked it a lot. Even Vinny was even involved in it as well. And one of the things I wanted to look at in this game is going back to the 4-4-2 is, what's the position of Vinny and Rodrigo going to be? It seemed like, and we'll look at the heat maps in a little bit here, but it seemed like that Vinny was going to be playing a lot more central, but ultimately he's basically on the left wing, and then Rodrigo would come in central, and he would also link up with him on the left wing as well. So wasn't that surprised with that. A little later in the game, Bellingham has a really good opportunity for a shot. It's the 35th minute. It's a really good run from Vinny, who passes it off to Rodrigo, who passes it to Bellingham. And he has a real good opportunity for a shot in this one. It's just not enough power. And again, it goes right to Oblak. And honestly, that's the first half. That was short and sweet, but honestly, first half, my thoughts, I thought Vinny was doing a good job staying calm in the beginning of this game. A little later, he gets a little heated up, which we'll talk about why he gets heated up. But I thought Vinny in the beginning of this game was doing pretty good. I'm not sure if they had Race's chance going for him. I know they were probably throwing stuff at him. We'll talk about it later in the game. But I thought this beginning of this first half, it was a scrappy and sloppy first half with really nothing that exciting. I'd rather be taking a nap, I'll be honest with everybody. That 45 minutes, easily, you could have taken a nap in that one and not missed a thing. Just a snoozer all around the first 45. The two players, though, I did like in the first half were Ferland Mendy and Fede Valverde. I thought they were our best players. The passing from them was really good. The defensive work rate from both of them was really good as well. And so, honestly, in the first half, I was pretty happy with both of them. A couple stats to throw at you in the first half. 54% possession for Real Madrid in this one. And we had, altogether, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, there were 9 shots in total and 4 on target. So again, it was not a really exciting first half. Now, a little later, going into the second half, the thing I noticed was Vinny, every single time he got the ball on the left wing, he's being doubled. And really, from Atletico Madrid's perspective, is you're not going to beat us, Vinny. Rodrigo, you're not going to beat us too, because when Rodrigo would get the ball, same thing. And it was really going to have to be somebody to come in from the midfield, from the back four to get that winner for us and, get us on the board. And ultimately, one of them does, but we'll talk about that. Either way, the one thing I was noticing, I was wondering, and I tweeted about it too. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter, definitely follow me on Twitter. I was tweeting and saying, how would this game look differently if Kylian Mbappe was out there? There's been a lot of people saying we don't need Kylian Mbappe, and I guess I understand what you're saying. You prefer the 4-4-2 formation. Kylian brings a different dynamic to this team. And on attack, and when you're playing a team that is so defensive-minded, like Atletico Madrid was in this one, I really think that Kylian could have came in and just been dynamic, especially, we saw him in the last one before he got injured. I really liked what I was seeing from Mbappe. And so I actually think if this game got replayed and Kylian Mbappe was fully healthy, I think we could have opened them up a lot more and probably could have won 2-0, 3-0. I would not be that surprised. So in the next one, when we're back in the Santiago Bernabeu, I'm hoping that Kylian's back. And I'm curious, is that back to a 4-3-3 or is that still the 4-4-2 diamond? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think this game would have been different if Mbappe was there? Let me know. I'm really curious to hear from you. A couple minutes later in this match, 51st minute, Rodrigo has probably one of the best opportunities in this game. He gets the ball at the top of the box and he just sails it over. But this is a free shot from Rodrigo that I was really expecting him to just nail the shot. Like I said, he's at the top of the box. It's wide open for him. There's no defenders in front of him. Nobody's going to be obstructing him from this shot. And he just sails it. And honestly, that was an opportunity for us, I thought, to get the first goal. A little later, a couple thoughts from me here. Tchouaméni in this game, I thought was pretty poor. If you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comments. But there was a couple times, we were talking about it on Twitter too, basically saying that he's lost the ball multiple times. There was 3 to 4 balls in this one that he's getting it and just getting displaced. He just loses the ball, loses his possession. And this is one of the issues with Tchouaméni. And I'm hoping that Camavinga coming back, maybe Camavinga can come in here and play a little more CDM, play a little more the defensive mid that we're kind of missing. I do think Tchouaméni can be great. It's just sometimes it happens too much for this one. And yeah, I thought overall Tchouaméni was not good in this one. Now, in the 64th minute, Vinny actually gets awarded a free kick opportunity really far up at the top of the box. And on the free kick, Modric actually takes the ball and passes it out to Vinny, who absolutely cooks his defender. And Vinny crosses it into the box, and it goes over a couple heads, a couple Atletico Madrid players, a couple Real Madrid players, and ultimately ends up in Eder Militao's lap. He controls the ball, and then he sends it home for Real Madrid to take the lead 1-0 in the Metropolitano. And really, at this point, I was fired up. This is a huge goal for us. 64th minute now. I'm feeling good. Let's go off, 35 more minutes probably with stoppage time and everything like that. I'm feeling really good at this moment. Now, who's not feeling good is the Atletico Madrid fans. After this goal, the Atletico Madrid fans literally, I say literally, start throwing trash and garbage on the field. They're throwing it at Courtois. Courtois is going to take a kick, and he's picking up lighters. He's picking up trash. He literally, later in the game, gets a plastic bag and is picking up trash. This right here is an absolute joke. And the referee, I thought they were going to be giving him a yellow for time wasting, but the referee actually comes in, looks at Courtois, sees the garbage, and goes and talks with Ancelotti and Simeone. And basically, at this moment in time, he postpones the game, suspends the game, takes the players off the field. And I just have to say, this is an absolute joke. This is a joke. This should never happen. Every single Atletico Madrid fan that is throwing garbage on the field, shame on you. I don't care if you hate Real Madrid. I don't care if you despise them or whatever it is. To throw stuff on the field and to be, yelling racist chants like that, that's an absolute joke, and that has no business in football, and especially in this game as well. So terrible from them. Not a fan. That's not to all Atletico Madrid fans. If you're watching this, that's to the ones who are doing it at the stadium. So shame on you, honestly. A couple minutes later, about 20 minutes in real time, the game restarts. In the 72nd minute, Vinny has a really good opportunity for a shot. He's cutting through the defense in the middle, but it's a really good save from Oblak. And I was liking from Vinny. He was a little more fired up after this moment. And do you blame him? He gets the assist to Militao. He's already had some, fiery chants going on with the Atletico Madrid fans. They've been throwing stuff on the field. I'm not that surprised. Now, in the 81st minute, Courtois has a really good save in this one. And I'm feeling pretty good, guys. About 10 minutes left, depending on stoppage time. Vasquez comes on for Luka Modric, and then Endrick comes on for Vinny in the 87th. And him coming on, I was like, okay, we're taking off Vinny. And I guess they were talking about it. They said, oh, we're taking off Vinny, precautionary safety reasons, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, we'll talk about it, though. We'll talk about it. Endrick, though, he has an opportunity on a counterattack, and he takes a shot just like what we saw from him in the Champions League against Stuttgart, where he just nails that long ball with a ton of pace on it. This ball was pretty accurate, too. It misses the bottom left corner. I don't think Oblak's getting it if it's about 2 feet to the right. Maybe he is, But I would not mind Bobby. I would not mind Bobby to be a little closer when we're taking these shots. Also, Bellingham is running in behind. Like, I like the effort a lot from Endrick in this one, and I like the confidence. As I told you guys, he does not lack confidence at all. There's one thing about this kid. There's no lack of confidence at all. I just think Endrick, we can take a little better shot of that and really, put this game to bed. A little later, Rodrigo comes off and Fran Garcia comes on in the 90th minute. And unfortunately, in the 5th minute of stoppage time, Carrera makes a run behind Rudiger, and it's a little awkward, and it's him and Militao fighting, and the ball goes into the back of the net. Ultimately, I don't know if it was an own goal. I don't know if Carrera actually passes it in. It was an awkward situation, but they initially rule it offsides, but I mentioned it on Twitter. I said that he's onside. After they showed the replay, I'm like, he's onside. And they looked at VAR, and he was about this close. Rudiger's knee keeps him onside, and unfortunately, Carrera does get the equalizer for Atletico Madrid in the 5th minute. And this is my biggest issue, and I just have to talk about it. I understand, bringing on defenders and saying, okay, let's just lock this game up, right? Well, you bring on Lucas Vazquez for Modric, right? And you bring on Endrick for Vinny, okay, in the 87th. Then you bring Rodrigo off and Fran Garcia on. And at this point, why are you playing defenders out of position? I guess I understand, we're adding more defenders. My issue is when you're bringing on defenders for attackers, you're playing them out of position. And what happens is things like this, where there's miscommunication, people are playing out of position, and you get caught off guard, and guess what? You give up an equalizer. We easily could have had 3 points in this one, and unfortunately, we make a mistake, and we give up the equalizer. And here's the thing. Everybody needs to understand. Sometimes the best defense is offense. I think we need to remember that. And I'm hoping, Carlo Ancelotti, I know you're a subscriber. I hope you know that for the next time this happens. So I don't want to see it again. Little later, this about done with the game. I just have to mention this, though. Llorente chops down Fran Garcia on a counterattack. And I mentioned it on Twitter again. This was disgusting. A disgusting attempt from Llorente in this one. And I said that should be a red. They gave him a yellow initially. Look at VAR, gets upgraded to a red. Llorente's off. He's suspended for 3 games. And that's the end of the game. And again, that attempt from Llorente is just awful. That has no place in football. And it's just a dirty, you could have broke his leg. Honestly, it's a terrible, terrible attempt. No idea what you were doing other than just being dirty on that one. And so let's talk about a couple of the players. As, like I said, Real Madrid ultimately draw the game 1-1 with Atletico Madrid in the Metropolitano. So, couple positives, right? The winning streak and the undefeated streak, I should say, keeps living on. I believe now, correct me in the comments, I believe we're at 40 games now. And the last time we were at the Metropolitano, we actually lost. So, this is a good result ultimately for Real Madrid. Would I've wanted 3 points and for us to get closer to Barcelona after they dropped points earlier this week? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? Did we have it in the bag? We did. Ultimately, though, we have to look at it as a positive. Last year, like I said, we dropped points there. Coming back with a point is huge for us. And I don't think this is a great Atletico Madrid team. I just think this was a difficult place to play. And for us, again, to ultimately get a point, I'm looking at it as a positive overall. Now, when it comes to some of the players I wanted to talk about in this one, first of all, first player I have to mention is the player that I talked about coming into this match, Luka Modric. I thought Luka Modric today, as you can see on the screen, his heat map, he was everywhere, man. He did fantastic today. One big note for him, really today he was going to have to play that Toni Kroos-esque role, right? Controlling the ball, controlling the pace of the game, and passing. Well, he was perfect on passing. And when I say perfect, I mean it. 58 out of 58. He had 100% accuracy on his passes in this one. And it was a really good game from him. The crosses from him I liked. Some of the set pieces I liked. Getting that set piece over to Vinny where he crossed it into Militao for us to get the first goal. I was very happy about that as well. And overall, though, I thought Luka Modric had a really good one today. The other one I wanted to mention was, I think a Brazilian's going to get it on the board. I did say Vinny or Rodrigo, but it's a different Brazilian. Militao gets on the board for us. And I just thought overall, yes, he gets the goal, and it's a really good finish from him. But in this one, I thought there was a lot of solid passing from him. And I thought his defense was really good, except for the goal. I wrote this down already. And again, I still think his defense was really good, except for the goal from Carrera on the equalizer. I thought Militao had a really good performance in this one. I was very happy with him overall. Like I said, some of the passes from him, the switching of the passes, and just kind of the control. I think this is the Militao that we've been missing. Last year when he was out with the ACL injury. I actually think that he's basically fully healthy now, and I'm expecting a ton from Militao the rest of the year. Now, when it comes to my man of the match in this one, there's not a lot of options. I'll be honest. I didn't think anybody played incredibly well in this one. Overall, I think we could have been a lot better. Again, though, getting the point, I think it's okay. If I had to point out one person in particular, it's one of the best players that we've had this season for Real Madrid, and that, of course, is Fede Valverde. Fede Valverde, fantastic game from him overall in terms of what he's being asked to do. He's running around the pitch. You can see on the screen, this is his heat map. He's everywhere, man. He's just bombing down that right wing. And I talked about it too. I feel like there was a couple of times he was moving to the 4-3-3 in the beginning of the game. And again, I was really happy with him. 92% passing of this one. And overall, I thought it was a really good performance from Fede Valverde in this one in a disappointing game overall. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. Let me know who your man of the match was. Also, how do you think we would have done if Kylian Mbappe is back? And I'm really curious to hear from you, so let me know in the comments. If you guys made it this far in the video, if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This has been Dally with Dallyfc. Cheers, Hala Madrid.